Um, Great. Okay, so we are here on Monday night, July 12th, and we've got a great call tonight. We're going to hear from Nikki up in Michigan about some really incredible success she's been having. And, I know she's just packed with great things to share with us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I want to start off with a few announcements tonight. You guys, we have a Juice Plus Live in October. And for the first time in 2 years, can you believe all that we've been through? And I believe more than anything, this time of connection, and this time of, our company has been through change, and really getting to see it for ourselves and be in the front row and listen and hear all the updates, connect with each other in person. I know that Zoom has become so valuable to keep us together and keep us connected and encouraged. But I just want to encourage you to get to St. Louis this fall. Who's got plane tickets? Or I know the Michigan crew is driving, right? Here comes the caravan. Who's going? And just by the way, if you're not comfortable yet because of COVID, that's totally okay. You can get a ticket for the live stream. So you can buy your tickets already at Juice Plus Insights. Go to events and you can get your conference ticket, get your flight, get all that paid for in advance and start stashing away some fun money for some meals out and things like that. And we will see you in St. Louis. Couple other things happening are Wednesdays. The company is doing a Zoom on Wednesdays. I think they're calling it Wonderful Wednesdays. I just came across this. So it's a new training, new information. And so look at all these and be thinking about, who do you want to invite? Do you want to bring a new team member? Do you want to bring somebody that's looking at joining your team? Maybe somebody who's a prospective customer. We have more resources than ever to bring people to, and that's really, I think one of the things you'll hear from Nikki tonight is bringing people to the information, bringing people to the community. That's really impactful. It's what grows your income. So be looking for those opportunities and put them on the calendar to every extent that you can, and ask yourself that critical question: who do I need to invite? Who needs to hear this? So that being said, any other announcements anybody else on the team has to share? Okay. We are going to jump into about 15 or 20 minutes with Nikki Loomis, who's on our team. She's up in Michigan, and we're going to learn about Nikki, and we're going to learn about how she is impacting people with Juice Plus. She's building herself a totally kick butt side hustle, and had her biggest paycheck ever this month. And Nikki sits muted on most of these calls because she's on her shift. So everyone, please thank her for the time she set aside to make sure she could be on this call and share with you. Take notes. We'll have some Q&A at the end. Nikki, welcome tonight, and tell us a little bit about you and what you do and how you got attracted to joining the Juice Plus mission.
All right. Hey, for those that don't know me, I'm Nikki. Friends of mine that are close call me Nicole, so either is good for me. I got introduced to the Juice Plus company from Erica Frericks. She's on the call here. She's one of my very near and dear friends. Anytime I have questions, I go to her. She's always a phone call away, always a text away. Oftentimes we'll be found drinking wine at her kitchen table, just brainstorming stuff for work, or just, having girl catch up, because sometimes moms that are busy like Erica need that. My full-time job, I'm a police officer, and right now I'm assigned to a pretty big team within the area that I'm at. So my times are working are evening and on call. It's not abnormal for me to be woken up at 2 or 3 in the morning, answering a phone, talking to some people. It's exhausting, but it's rewarding in the same sense. I also am a part of the local sheriff's department that is a part of this multi-jurisdictional task force team, and I'm also a dive team member. So I'm very busy. Juice Plus, I do that in all of my spare time, all of my hours that I have that I'm not working or not on call.
So, so tell me about that. What made you decide to really sacrifice your personal time? I mean, you and I have had talks. Your job is demanding, it's stressful. Obviously, we know that, our frontline, our police force, every day when you put your badge on, you put your life on the line. And so I think to come out of that and decide to use your personal time when you could be like working out or binging on Netflix or hanging out with friends, to use that to do something with Juice Plus. Tell us about that.
So my boyfriend, he's also a police officer, and he and I have had lengthy conversations on like what the big picture looks like. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Where do I see us, him and I, in 5 years, 10 years, etc. And I've actually made the decision to invest more in my Juice Plus company now, so that way I can start building those blocks now to have a better outcome later on, especially when it comes to building a bigger team. Build your team wide. So building your team now is really going to help you invest in yourself for later. What I mean by that is we've actually talked in depth about me getting out of law enforcement when it comes time for us to get married and have children. I'd rather invest in my children and our life than, working endless hours doing this job, because this job is not going anywhere. But realistically, in the big picture, I don't know that it makes the most sense for me to continue spreading myself so thin, especially when I'm going to have little humans that are going to be relying on me.
Oh my gosh, that's, incredible vision. And I just have to give you kudos for that, because you guys, there's something I want you to take away from what she just shared. And that is to ask questions and start to dig into, do people have a vision for their future? A lot of times we don't. A lot of times we're just grinding away. And I think what's really special about Nikki is her vision and what she saw in terms of potential, not just with Juice Plus, but in herself. She saw that she could do this. And I really appreciate that about her, because that takes courage and guts to put yourself out there, which we know you do at work, but but in a totally different way. So tell us about, getting out there and talking to people about Juice Plus in your community. What has that been like? And maybe can you share a couple of wins?
Yeah. So, all right, let's see. Gosh. Some of my most recent team members have really been rock stars, and I feel like helping them succeed by doing simple things, just teaching them and coaching them and guiding them and answering any of their questions. That I feel like has really been a huge win for us as a team, just because they know, just like I know that Erica's available, I'm available to them. Or if I don't have the answer to their question, I can always reach out to Erica, or I can reach out to Ellen. A lot of us have a lot of different schedules that are very busy. So it's always easy to make a quick phone call to somebody to get some sort of an answer, or throw it out in the Voxer group. That's always been really helpful for me. Sometimes I found the answer by going through there. My local team, so most recently I had 3 team members who all promoted very quickly. One was my mom, one was my friend Brittany, and one was my boyfriend's mom. So most of those girls started out with a Shred 10 just because it was an event that really exposed them to what the culture is, and it really set the tone for them to have success when it came to them trying out a product of ours, feeling the benefits that we get, and then being able to run and talk to all of their friends and family about it. I know in all 3 of them, they've had events, or they've had meetings with their friends, and they've provided them like samples, and they've talked to them about what the shred is, and they've actually outside of our shred group created their own shred group where they're doing the shred when we're not shredding, but they're holding each other accountable to that, which has been really, really great to see.
That's awesome. They're actually better than us. I mean, they're not on the call here drinking wine with us. So, okay, that's great. You know what? I love that, because what Nikki has been able to inspire is duplication. And that is so key, to go to sales coordinator and to go beyond up that stairway to heaven in that marketing plan and juice plus you want to duplicate, right? You want to duplicate your efforts. You want to have other people doing what you're doing. That's the whole point of it. At 40, 50 customers, you're kind of like, you're kind of tapped out. So you want other people that go out and share with people that you don't know. So Nikki, what do you see for yourself between now and conference? Do you have a goal, or is there something you'd share with us that you're eyeballing?
Yeah, I'm actually working really hard to get sales coordinator, and I'm really close. I'm so close. So I'm working very hard on that. And again, it's just getting back to the roots. Sometimes it's easy to have conversations with people, but other times it can be incredibly difficult, I've found for myself. Whether that be because I'm exhausted because of work, or whether that be because I just don't know if I'm being fearful of what they might say to me. But I always have to remind myself and kind of do like a little mental check. The answer is always going to be no unless you ask it. They could say no, but they also could say yes. So I have to remind myself that often. And I know, I'm sure I can speak for Erica and for you, Ellen. Like, you guys still have those aha moments where you're like, you know what? Why am I not doing this? I might as well just do it. It's very easy.
That's great. And I love what you just said. The answer is always no unless you ask. So, and I mean, I hope you guys got that even, Nikki, who is, you guys, she's a police officer. Most of us would be like scared, out of our pants doing what she does at work every day. She still goes through some of that fear of just opening her mouth and saying something, worrying about what people think. So I love that you shared that. And so tell us, what kind of a team do you want to build? Like, in your mind, do you have a picture of like your team? What does that look like? What does that feel like?
Well, I think I briefly touched on it earlier. I mean, building my team wide, as well as helping them succeed and setting them up for success, because that only sets me up for success, really. And not only like, big picture as far as like the company goes and progression of the company, it's just nice to be able to have that fellowship, especially with the last year that we've had. I know that I've missed getting together with my friends and my family and my girls just to have a good time. Not to say men can't do this too, because there are men who are coming and enjoying and getting great benefits. I don't know that they necessarily love to like clink glasses of wine every once in a while, but I think I'm working on my boyfriend.
Where's Jim? Jim does.
Does Jim like it? I'm gonna have to introduce Jim to Connor, because Connor,
yeah, no, Jim's fantastic.
That's awesome, because Connor, I just got him for the first time to try wine this last week, and he is loving sweet wine. So we actually shared some with Erica and CJ last night, and Connor was outside of his mind of how delicious it was.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, okay. So one last question as we wrap it up tonight and get into everybody else's questions, because I think they're going to have some great questions for you. But do you have a script when you ask people to join your team, or what does that usually sound like?
No, it's really, it's not. It's like, hey, I just kind of chat with them about the product in the first place. And then I'm trying to think of how like I say it, because it's so like unscripted. It's just like, well, you could be making money here too. Like, and right now you're not, it doesn't cost anything to make money. So why not invest in your future? But I think it's mostly just like, hey, you want to come be on my team? I think you're pretty fantastic, and I'd really appreciate your energy on my team. I know I specifically said to Brittany she would make shakes of her shakes, and she would send me her videos on TikTok, and she's like having a great old time and she's just enjoying herself. And I'm like, save that video, post it, girl, put that out there, do it. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, you can do it. It's amazing. I love that. I'm like, that's the kind of energy I want on my team. Come join my team. And then the rest was history.
That is fantastic. Okay, very cool. All right, guys. What questions do you have for Nikki tonight? Let's see your face. Come on, ask some good questions. Erica, how did you invite Nikki to your team?
That's a great question.
She came to Austin with us 2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So let me think back to this.
I think I remember if you don't.
Do you? I'm just,
Yeah.
well, okay, here's the thing. This is what I'm going to preface this question by. So like, I've been doing this for quite a while now. And so like Juice Plus is just a regular conversation that I have with like everyone. If you tell me you have a health thing, or you tell me you have a financial thing, or you talk about how picky your husband or your kids are, or if you ask me why my skin's so pretty, because it is. I have nice skin, which is really just because I eat really well and take Juice Plus every day. Like if you ask me a strange question or it comes up in a conversation, I'm going to talk about Juice Plus. And then pretty soon I'm going to be like, I'm certain that I was probably like, hey, Nikki, like, you know what? I want to work with people who are fun and who are inspiring and who are go-getters and just like generally great people to be around. So I'm going to let Nikki answer that because I don't even remember how I asked.
Yeah. So I remember she had sent me some stuff and she is constantly posting online, and I'm like, all right, I've seen it a few times. Let me just take a peek. And I read about it a little bit and I sent her a message. I'm like, so what is this Juice Plus stuff you're always like posting about? And she's like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. It's like 30 encapsulated fruits and vegetables. I think you'd love it. Like, how much do you eat in a day? And I was like, well, actually not great, because at the time I was working night shift with her husband. That's actually how we met. Her husband and I worked together. And I was like, I don't eat that great actually. And it's kind of hard and few and far in between when I am able to eat meals. So that's how the conversation started. And she's like, if you think that you have a couple of friends who might be interested in doing like taking this as well, you could make some money and or earn your product for free, or earn enough money to pay for your product. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sign up, but I just am doing it for the discount. I'm not doing it because I'm not trying to like work. I'm not trying to put all this extra time in it and this money, and I'm not having to buy my promotions and all that. Like, I'm not doing all that. So I'll be fine. So the first 30 days I actually promoted, and she's like, see how easy that was? I thought you weren't going to do it. I was like, all right, what's the next step? And then I was hooked. And then we went to conference and loved it ever since. And here I am.
That's amazing. Well, I think it's just, when you're the person that asks, when you're the person that invites, you are a beautiful, powerful person for doing that. And I don't mean to be cheesy in saying that, but it just strikes me that way. So that's fantastic. Any other questions for Nikki tonight? Carol, I know you just jumped on late. It's really good to see you.
I want to add something, Ellen. Just because a lot of, my husband is also in law enforcement, and these guys he works with, I'm always like, if these guys had to chase after some criminal down the road, I mean, like, we're in Michigan and people here are super unhealthy. I know they're unhealthy everywhere, but they're extra unhealthy here in Michigan. And I'm always like giving him a hard time about how how bad they eat. Like, I get it. Third shift is hard. There's not a lot open if you need a snack. But I kept saying, like, gosh, I wish we could get in with those guys. If they would just eat Juice Plus, it would be huge, right? I mean, a lot of them are picky eaters and a lot of them just eat real crappy. And I kept saying that, and my husband, he would talk about it, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, we're kind of persuasive. And so I kept saying, I need to get one of the girls in your department on my team, because that's how we'll change, that's how we can impact the health of certain occupations, certain communities, right? So these are a bunch of guys who are picky eaters, who eat crappy food, who drink crappy drinks all the time. It's how they function. And Nikki got in there and she was like, I mean, she just picked them off one by one, like, you need Juice Plus, and you need Juice Plus, and you need Juice Plus. And so, I mean, that's just it. Think about something that touches your life, and then go find somebody who's in that realm that you can bring on board, because those people will have a different relational value with those people than what you have. So you just invite them on board, and you like touch the world without even trying. I mean, you're trying, but you know what I'm saying, without actually touching all those people. So she's done a great job of getting a lot of the guys in the department on board, and they are significantly healthier for that. So
that is fantastic. That is really cool to hear. And I love, again, just go take care of your own community. You don't even have to change the whole world, but someone in your community knows another whole world out there, and they'll go change that. Do you know what I mean? Okay, awesome. Anything else you want to add, Nikki, that you want to share with us as you have just, raking in some bonuses, new ranks, new team members, heading to sales coordinator? Anything else you want to share with us?
No, just the sense of always remembering that, duplication is the best. That's one of the biggest company mottos that we have. And, I was always shooting for within the last, I don't know, however long, I've been trying to go for a sales coordinator. I didn't really break it down to like me plus 3 QSCs means that I will actually even skip over sales coordinator and go to SSC, right? Something like that. There's some sort of numbers there, which is kind of over my head still, but I'm figuring it out. And so just invest in your team as if you'd want your uppers to invest in you. That's just my little piece there.
Absolutely. Investing in building those team members up. I love it. Okay. Awesome call tonight, Nikki. A heartfelt congratulations to you from all of us for your success and for taking your time to inspire us. And we are cheering you on to SC. And you guys, every single person on this call who's not an SC yet, you can do that before conference. You've got time. Roll up your sleeves, get to work, have fun. And, I'm just amazed I just want to close this call tonight by saying, this remains truly one of the most positive environments I get to walk into every week. And I'm so thankful for all of you. And you're a blessing, whether you do a little or a lot. And that's really important to say, because we can really get into performance and all of that. And that's so important. But you know what? We get to do life together, and we get to help people together. And that is just a courageous, wonderful thing. So thank you, everyone. And we'll see you back here next week. Okay. Have a great night.
Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.